Welcome back everybody to another episode of Sneaker Updates. This will be Sneaker Updates number 96. If you happen to be new here, feel free to subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you stay 100% updated on every hyped sneaker. Essentially, in this series, we go over sneakers that received updates throughout the week. For example, some of those may potentially include some OffWhite, Jordans, Yeezys, and more. But with that short intro out of the way, why don't we jump right into the first update. Kicking it off, it looks like we will be getting another OffWhite Air Force One sometime in late 2022 or early 2023. Specifically, this will be in the Ghost Gray colorway. While I have no confirmation on my end yet, there are some sources that are claiming that this will be a Paris exclusive pair and thus will most likely be released in the same manner as how the prior City Air Force Ones have released, such as the MCA Chicago pair or ICA Boston pair. I will try to get a full confirmation for you guys soon, so make sure you do subscribe and enable post notifications for further info. This would mean that if you are from the United States, you'd need a reshipper in order to cop these. Now, these reshippers can be anywhere located within the country of France. It does not have to be within Paris. When you spoof your location, your address doesn't have to be within that city, but it does have to be within the same country as whatever sneakers domain you're on. In this case, it would be France. While retail is $160 on these, which will be in euros, even after shipping fees, of course, these will still be extremely profitable with an incredible margin, just like any of the prior pairs that we have seen. So yes, you should absolutely try to go for these no matter where you live in the world. In the meantime though, don't forget that we have the OffWhite Air Force One BKM Spark Green releasing soon as well. Make sure to watch my How to Cop guide if you have not already. We actually have another OffWhite related update for today, but before moving on, I do have an exciting announcement for those of you who have been patiently waiting. We will be having a very limited endurance restock on this Thursday, August 11th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. CEST via the Endurance Twitter. Now, while Nike sneakers early information is of course extremely useful for drops like the OffWhite Air Force One or any other form of shock drop on Nike sneakers or Nike, I still urge you to peruse Endurance's website, considering early information, let alone just for Nike, is only one of the numerous resources and competitive advantages that we do offer. For example, just the other day, members had another huge cookout on the Snipes Panda Dunk restock thanks to our bypass. So if you're interested, be sure to follow the Endurance Twitter for the restock on Thursday, August 11th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. But regardless, let's continue. It looks like we are finally going to be seeing the OffWhite Futura Dunks releasing in both the UNC and orange colorway. According to some sources, not my own, the release date is now set for September 30th, Virgil Abloh's birthday. Now, these were actually first revealed a very, very long time ago, all the way back in 2019, in fact, at the Paris Fashion Week. The images you see were also leaked long ago, back in 2019 when we first discussed these, so it's great that we're actually going to finally see these released. They were also foreshadowed on the public domain OffWhite website, if you guys recall this video right here. But anyway, I'll let you guys know when there's more information confirmed on these. For now, most sources are saying the 30th for $150. Both will certainly be very profitable with an incredible margin, so obviously full throttle on these. Moving on to Jordan updates now, we got some more news regarding Travis Scott. Specifically, the Travis Scott Cactus Jack Jordan 1 Low Phantom will be dropping on December 15th for $150. This image is just a mock-up, of course, just a black and white version of the prior pairs we have seen, but of course, expect them to look mostly gray and black. Just like the last pair, you could also expect these to be extremely profitable with an incredible margin, obviously full throttle. Moving on, we got an on-foot look at the Jordan 4 A Ma Maniere, which should be dropping this November for $225. Despite that very high retail, I do still expect these to be profitable, but with a subpar margin. Unfortunately, nothing crazy because of that high retail. Then we got official images for the Jordan 2 218, which drops this December for $200. Unfortunately, I'm not expecting these to be profitable. Demand on Jordan 2s, especially 2 lows, is just too low. Moving on, the Jordan 3 Women's Black Gold will be dropping on October 6th for $200. I believe this colorway will be mostly for personals. At best, maybe brick profit in large size if you have no tax in your state, but I'm even skeptical on that. On the other hand, the Jordan 4 Midnight Navy will be dropping on October 1st for $210. Despite this elevated retail by $10, I do still expect there to be room for profit on these, if only lunch money with a subpar margin, perhaps just slightly better than what we witnessed initially on the infrared Jordan 4s. Moving on, the Jordan 12 Black Taxi will be dropping on November 19th for $200. Like most recent Jordan 12s, I'd have to unfortunately say personal only for these. Then it looks like the Jordan 7 Cardinal is finally set to return on November 26th for $210. While this is a classic colorway, they still are a Jordan 7 unfortunately, hence I don't believe demand will be high enough for them to be profitable, so personal only. Moving on, official images images have loaded for the Jordan 11 Cherry, which drops on December 10th for $225. Despite the high retail, like all 11s have, I do still expect these to be profitable, but with a poor to subpar margin. Definitely need a personal pair regardless as well. Let me know what you guys think about these. I'm super excited that these are finally coming in the mid version rather than just the low version, which we saw just a few years ago. Then, it looks like the J Balvin Jordan 2 in blue will be dropping September 15th for $300. I would have said these would be profitable despite being a Jordan 2, solely because of the J Balvin name, but I am skeptical given that very high retail of $300. The Jordan 1s are only going for around $400, so perhaps these will be lunch money with a poor margin, but I'm definitely not expecting anything better than that. Moving on, the Jordan 1 Skyline will be dropping March 18th for $180, mock-up courtesy of Z Sneakerheads. Based off how many recent Jordan 1s with non-classic colorways have been performing, I'd only expect lunch money with a poor margin at best for these. Moving on, the Jordan 11 Women's Midnight Navy will be dropping November 11th for $225. Contrary to the Cherry 11s we just discussed, I don't believe demand will be high enough on this colorway to offset the very high retail, so for now I'd have to say personal only. With Jordans out of the way though, now let's move on to Yeezys. First of all, after this video, you can feel free to watch the Yeezy Day drop recap if you have not seen it already, but anyway, it looks like official images have loaded for the Yeezy Slide Flax. These should be dropping on August 22nd for $70. Expect these to be profitable with a great margin thanks to that very low retail. Next up, the Yeezy 700 Vanta will be re-releasing on August 19th for $300. While they are profitable right now, at best, I'd only expect lunch money with a very poor margin with the influx of the new stock, if even that. Otherwise, most likely, these are just going to be personals. With Yeezys out of the way though, now moving on to some miscellaneous updates. First, the Pata Air Max 1 Dark Russet will be dropping in just a couple of days on August 12th for $160, but on their website it will be in euros, of course, which is slightly higher. Despite pre-sale being very high, I'm only expecting around lunch money in the large sizes with a subpar to decent margin. The wider release will be in the near future as well. Moving on, the Neckface SB Dunk Low will be dropping sometime in October for $110. I would expect these to be very profitable with a great margin. And lastly for today, we got our very first look at the Sacai Cortez 4.0, which will be releasing this fall for $160. While not all Sacai have been profitable lately, I do believe that these have potential for at least lunch money with a subpar margin and hopefully more than that, given that they are a simple colorway on a brand new model of Sacai's. Anyway, that'll conclude it for today. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed or perhaps learned a thing or two. Remember that the limited endurance restock will take place on Thursday, August 11th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time via the Endurance Twitter. You can subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you stay 100% updated on all hyped releases. Also, you can feel free to check out the links in the description below for reliable, fast, residential proxies as well as e-deals. Spots are now open for e-deals. Furthermore, feel free to follow Gargantua AIO if you want to keep up with the progress or restocks. Last but not least, make sure to follow Keith Adam 10 and Personals for you. This way you guys stay updated on all urgent info like I was mentioning today. With that though, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and of course, good luck on all these upcoming releases.